Thank you for joining me. My name is Laura Patterson. I'm co-founder of The Peace Offering. And in this video, we're going to be making bone broth. Bone broth is one of the fundamental recipes for me and all of my cooking. And it's a base, it's something I always have going in my home, and I use it constantly throughout the week. It's quite simple to make, and you can use any bones that you have. I'm going to use beef bones today, these beef marrow bones. If you have a leftover chicken carcass, you can make bone broth out of it. If you have pork bones, lamb bones, anything that you have, you should always save your bones and make yourself a bone broth. I like to make my bone broth in a slow cooker because I can set it and forget it and not worry about a fire, and it can go overnight. Sometimes I cook my bone broth for a couple of days, and then the only thing to do really is watch the level of water, and otherwise it's very safe here in this slow cooker. So this is the simple recipe, as easy as it gets. You can start by putting the bones in your slow cooker, and then you'll need some form of acid. So I'm going to use a lemon because I have one, but if you have vinegar on your countertop, then you can just put a dash of vinegar in there. We use this acid to sort of draw out the minerals and nutrients from the bones. Get that seed out of there. So this lemon isn't particularly juicy, so I'm going to use both halves of it. But if for some reason you got a really juicy lemon, you could just use half because you don't need much. The only thing left to do is add the water. Bone broth is such a versatile recipe. You can use it in replace of water in almost anything. So when I'm cooking rice, for example, I use bone broth instead of water. It's a great way to add minerals and collagen into your diet. And depending on how much salt you want to add to it, it can have no flavor at all. But if you want to add salt to it, it can start to taste more like a soup. But if you wanted to keep it flavorless, add no salt to it whatsoever, and you can use it in place of water in almost any recipe. So I'm going to fill this up to the brim because over time the water will go down. All right. We have our crock pot here. Gonna seal it. And then I like to cook mine on low. If for some reason you've got a short amount of time, you can cook it on high for about 4 hours. And if you cook it on low, you can leave it for up to 2 days. So I'm going to cook this one overnight, and I'll check back with you guys when it's time to strain it. All right, it's been 24 hours, and it's time for us to check on our bone broth. It'll be hot, so be very careful. Let's check. Oh, look at these bone marrows that just fell right out of the center of these bones. See that in there? Nice and jiggly. So all that's left to do is to strain it. And you can use any strainer that you have. If you have more of a fine mesh strainer, it's going to strain every tiny little bit out of it. And if you have one with bigger holes, that's fine too. You'll just get a little bits of collagen in your bone broth. So I'm going to go strain it in the sink because it gets splashy and messy and it's hot, and it's better just to do this down in the sink. All right. I like to brace this up against the edge of the sink to help with leverage. And bring our bone broth back here. So there's a nice amount of fat in this, and it's all going to rise up to the top. Right now it's all mixed in because I just strained it. But there's going to be a lot of separation. There's going to be a lot of little bits in the bottom, and then the fat on the top. And as this gets colder, the fat will just harden on the top. So this is an excellent thing to serve alongside meals. Instead of drinking water, you can have a glass of bone broth with your meal. But if you're going to drink it plain, I would add salt to it. So this is the base for all of my soups in all of my recipes. Thanks for watching.